Vapor recovery valve assembly. Assembly of components. Blow and clean the O-ring groove of the valve disc. Apply a little grease. Insert the O-ring of the valve disc. Note that the O-ring must not be twisted. Press it to feed the groove. If using a cladding O-ring, it needs to be soaked in boiling water for 1 minute to soften before assembly. Clean the disc in the valve body. Apply thread sealant around the top of the air pipe joint thread. Screw it into the corresponding screw hole and wait for the thread sealant to dry. Apply some grease to the sealing groove. Install the O-ring with an inner diameter of 13 2x265 and the USH129 wiring into the valve body. Use circular pliers to tighten the hose stops and clamp the flame arrestor screen onto the end of the valve body. Insert the O-ring on the piston shaft sleeve into the piston hole and tighten with the M6 lock nut. Final assembly. Apply a little grease to the piston chamber of the valve body and place the spring. Apply a little grease as well as to the shaft and wiring of the piston assembly. Thread the shaft into the valve body. Use other objects with smaller outer diameter than the cavity to counter piston bottom, resulting in shaft and exposure. Install the disc. Screw on the M8 cap nut. Release and remove object. Then use the socket spanner to fix the M6 lock nut and tighten the M8 cap nut. Put in the O-ring. Small cover plate. Finally, screw the upper gland to tighten. Maintenance and disassembly steps. It is recommended to replace the general sealing ring within 6 months, as it is a vulnerable part, and if disc seal O-ring, depending on the situation. To do this, inflate with compressed air. Open the valve disc. You can directly use a sharp tool to remove the damaged O-ring. Replace it with a new sealing O-ring. Treatment of leakage at the gland. To do this, loosen the gland lock and unscrew the gland. Remove the small cover plate. Replace the broken O-ring under small cover plate. Replacement of the sealing ring in valve body. To do this, use an object with an outer diameter smaller than the cavity to press the piston end. Loosen the cap nut at the end of the valve disc. Release the object to remove the piston part. The broken ring on the valve body can be removed with a sharp tool, and then apply a little grease. Replace with a new sealing ring, and pay attention to the U-ring's direction. If the spring is corroded, it can also be replaced. After the valve flap is opened, the exhaust port keeps leaking and the gas escapes from the chamber. Remove the damaged wiring from the piston and replace it with a new one. Note the wiring orientation. When the grease inside the piston chamber dries out over a long period of time at high temperatures, and the piston cannot be opened, to solve this, use a round rod and press it inside. Add some grease, repeatedly pull and insert the round rod. Evenly apply the grease to the piston, and then reinstall it. Note, when the valve disc of the vapor recovery valve cannot be opened or the opening distance is too small, it is necessary to check whether the air line pressure is too low. If it is less than 0.4 MPa, adjust the pressure of the pressure regulating valve to 0.5 to 0.6 MPa and test whether the vapor recovery valve is working well. When the lower exhaust port leaks, it indicates that the cylinder piston is not in place. Also, the pressure is not enough. You can adjust the air line pressure to 0.5 to 0.6 MPa.